Good morning, guys. We are here in the kitchen today taking care of our cabbages. These cabbages I harvested last week when I did my big greens harvest in order to make some southern collard greens. And this week we are going to make a canned coleslaw recipe with the hearts of the cabbage here. I did really well this year for me for cabbages because last year I grew like one not very good one basically. This year I managed to do 4 pretty good sized ones. I'm very pleased about this. I think having them covered for part of the time really did help keep the bugs away from them, and it is definitely something that I want to look more into for next year, to find a better solution to keep these guys protected and get something out of them in the end. So we are going to be doing some canned coleslaw. This is the recipe that several people have on the web. I will put links down below to a couple other people who have done this. It's fairly simple. It's just going to be cabbage, some carrots, a little bit of onion, and maybe if there's anything else in the garden that I want to add to it. And we're going to get this canned up today. First of all, I need to get these all sliced up and into my container here. And then I'm going to pour a little bit of salt on them just to pull out some of the moisture and let that sit for a couple of hours, and then we will be back to add everything else to it. I am just hand chopping this. Of course, if you have a mandolin, which I do, you can do this on that and make for some really even thin slices. But I kind of like mine a little bit chunkier, and I like just being able to control the size a little bit better. Plus, I just find with these larger heads of cabbage that it is kind of difficult to do with a mandolin. It just tends to be more injurious, I guess would be the word for it. So to save myself a little bit of time later, I'm going to add my salt in kind of layers so I don't have to do so much mixing. I've got about a cabbage and a half in there right now, so I'm going to put probably a good tablespoon, almost a tablespoon in here, and get this mixed up before adding more. So I thought a little bit about how I might be able to preserve my cabbage differently, including kind of finding a place somewhere in the house where I would be able to keep them. But cabbages really like a high humidity environment to preserve for long term, and I just really don't have a space for that here. I don't really have a root cellar, and I'd like to keep my canning pantry fairly non-damp in order to ensure that my lids and my jars and stuff stay well preserved for a long time. So that's why I decided to go ahead and go with this method. We like coleslaw, so having something on the shelf that I can just grab and crack open to go with a meal will be great. The only caveat to that is we are more of a mayonnaise-based coleslaw family. So I'm hoping that I will be able just to kind of add some mayonnaise to this once I've opened up the jars and make it into something that we like personally. Hopefully it will just have a great base for us to use to make something from, basically. Last bit of salt. We're going to get this mixed in, and then I'm going to go ahead and let this sit for a couple hours. So it's been several hours at this point, and our cabbage has definitely wilted down quite a lot. I just rinsed it with some cold water really well, and it is just waiting in this tub, and it is ready to have the rest of the ingredients for this slaw added to it, which is just going to be fairly simple. It's just going to be some carrots and some thinly sliced onions. While I get these carrots and onions ready to go, I'll also be warming up my jars, and I will be making the brine for this. The brine is just going to be a 1 to 2, so it's going to be about 2 cups water and 4 cups of vinegar total. The vinegar part I'm going to split into half apple cider vinegar and half white vinegar. And as far as seasonings go, I am going to use some celery seed and some mustard seed in there. In here we have probably 2 small cabbages, 2 medium-sized cabbage, 3 large carrots, and 1 large onion, all finely sliced or grated. And that is going to be it for our coleslaw mix. I know a lot of people add some other things, but that's all I have in the garden ready to go right now, so we're sticking with that. We're going to go ahead and move on to our brine mix, which is just, like I said, going to be water, vinegar, and a few simple spices. I've already got the 2 cups of water in here, and I'm going to add 4 cups total of vinegar. Half of that will be this apple cider vinegar, and half of it will be the regular white vinegar. I'm not sure this will do all of it. I may need to make some more in the end, but we'll see how far we get with this mixture, which is probably about a total of 6 cups. As far as the spices go, I will add probably a heaping tablespoon of celery seed and mustard each. I only have my teaspoon in here right now, but 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon, so actually I'm just going to do 2 teaspoons of that and 2 teaspoons of the mustard seed. Because I do like a little bit of sweetness to our coleslaw, I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. I don't have too much left in this container, so I think we'll put about half of this in here, probably about half a cup, and we'll see how that goes. This is just going to go on the stove to warm up, and I'm going to finish getting all of my stuff mostly heated up. The jars need to be heated up, and the brine will be heated up, and then I'll go ahead and stuff the jars with my coleslaw mix, pour the brine over, and then this is going to be water bath canned. So these were in the water bath canner for 10 minutes at a rolling boil. And then they've been out for a couple minutes now. They've almost all popped already, but I'll let them sit for the next 24 hours and then do a final check on them tomorrow. And then they'll just go down to the cupboard. They should stay good for probably the next year or so, if not longer. So hope you guys liked this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.